Fight fans, we welcome you into another edition of Inside Boxing Live. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. I am your host, Dan Canobio, and we have a great one for you today. As always, Teofimo Lopez will be joining us on the show today. But before we get into the interview with Teofimo Lopez, if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to CompuBox TV. It's where we drop a lot of our fight previews and other types of videos as well. If you're listening on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review and leave us a rating as well. Leave us a rating and a 5-star review, or just make sure that you're doing the proper things so that we can do this show every single week. And if you're watching us over on the Fubo Sports Network, thank you very much. We're going to be coming to you every Thursday night at 7 p.m. over on the Fubo Sports Network, doing great things over there. So we're happy to bring boxing to you every single week, because boxing is back every single week over on Top Rank. Top Rank series prevails and it moves on. And even though they've lost 5 main events now in the last 10 or 14 days, a lot of them are going to be rescheduled, but they're going through it right now. It just shows you that putting on boxing events right now during this pandemic is no easy feat. Putting on any sport, for that matter, is going to be a really hard thing. So hats off continually to Top Rank as they are doing their thing, putting fights on every single week. And I do think that the fights are going to get better in July, because in addition to Top Rank continuing their series in July, you're going to see DAZN get into the fray with Virgil Ortiz. They're going to make another appearance in the U.S. with Matchroom. We're going to see some really good fights over on DAZN coming in August. Fox, PBC on Fox is still potentially coming back. I don't think it's going to be in late July. I think more like early August from everything I'm hearing from the PBC on Fox. So more boxing is being added to the schedule on a weekly basis. Exciting times if you can stay positive. But also joining us here, coming up next on Inside Boxing Live, the 135-pound champ, the IBF champion, Teofimo Lopez. Here it is. Okay, let's bring in the lightweight champion of the world. You know him. He's the pride of Arkansas now. Teofimo Lopez joining us here on Inside Boxing Live.
We got to keep New York all day, every day.
Yeah, man. You haven't been in New York in a while. Things are crazy here. We got fireworks shows. The streets are wild. So you're sitting pretty over there in Arkansas.
Yeah, I know, right? Tell me about it. I'm pretty sure it's all hectic right now in New York. But I've been talking to my family out there, so everything seems like it's good over there so far for them.
Yeah. How's everything going over in Arkansas? How's the first lady, too? How's the missus? How's everything, the family? How's everything going out there?
The missus is good, man. Everything's good. I can't complain, man. The only thing really is just with the whole pandemic. That's like last time when we first started talking about this, and then look at it now. I mean, the people are saying this is a second wave coming in. So
I feel like the first wave hasn't even stopped yet. But the last time we did talk, we did an IG Live, and it was like right at the beginning. And you were talking about how you had asthma your whole life, and you got to take this serious. I think New York took it serious for the most part, but it's something that is now having an effect on the boxing world too. I mean, you're seeing fights on Top Rank. First of all, have you been watching the fights on Top Rank, and what do you make of this whole bubble that's going on?
See, this is how I know I miss fighting, because I haven't watched fights in a long time, and then since Top Rank's been posting, ESPN and everything, boxing is back. I've been like every Tuesday and Thursday watching, watching.
What do you think of it though?
No, it's because I'm bored, man, and I'm like, I want to fight. I want to fight already. Yeah. So it's like I enjoy fighting. So it's just what I think of it, man. I mean, some of the fighters that I was hoping that they will win, I mean, they got their first loss and stuff like that. So it's kind of tough seeing that, because you build a relationship with these guys throughout the years and everything like that. Personally, but man, it's definitely definitely a different atmosphere for sure.
Could you ever fight in front of the no fans? I know coming up, you fight in front of gyms that have maybe 100 people, or if you started off on the undercard, there's no one in the crowd yet. First fight of the night, you've been there. Even you have been there as a champ to start off your career. But fast forward to now, could you potentially see yourself fighting in front of no fans? How do you make an adjustment for that?
Man, it's like everything in life, man. You just gotta adapt to it. That's it. Just be like water, like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, all day. So, I mean, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I don't know, man. You just gotta make it work. It's not hard, man. I mean, there's times where we sparred guys, and it's just the trainer, his trainers and my trainer, and that's it. So it's It shouldn't be any different. The only thing I think it'll throw off is the fact that, you know, you may think it's sparring, but it's not. It's a legit fight. So that's the only part that could that you gotta just train your mind to do when you're in camp.
I heard that a lot from the early on with the UFC. When the UFC was getting back, a lot of the fighters weren't going for the kill. They weren't going for the, to end the fight. So you saw a lot of decisions because they didn't have that extra push, like the extra adrenaline, you get from the crowd. But it's funny though, because I was driving through Manhattan on May 30th, and I passed by the Garden, and a single tear came down my eye because I knew that was when the boxing fans were going to get the Lomachenko Teofimo mega fight, because outside of Wilder versus Fury, this was the fight that everyone had circled for the first half of the year. Obviously, I'm going to ask you about Lomachenko, but just looking back, man, I mean, it's got to be tough to know that on that day, right now you could be the undisputed champion. Just take us through the emotions on that day and what it's been like, just kind of be on the shelf waiting.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to happen, that's for sure. It's just the thing is, now it's on a different time and different date. It sucks, man. May 30th had passed, and I was like, damn, we would have made history right now. But, it would have been everywhere. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, we can still do it, and it'll hopefully happen by the end of this year, and that's what we're looking forward to. Maybe hopefully we make this fight happen, and I know we can. It's just, man, there's a few hiccups going on right now, but and it's not even on our side, so that's the thing that kind of makes it a little more frustrating.
Yeah, it's a tough time, and a lot of the financials are now coming to light with the pandemic. And last you heard from Aram, he was good.
Not financially, it's not even that. It's just trying to make the fight happen where they could put some fans in there, and if no fans, I mean, still we could make our money. I mean, we may not make it in the gate, but we'll still make our money if they make it on a pay-per-view or something like that. So that's not the issue. The issue is just I really don't. I don't know. I don't know what's the holdup. I really don't.
Well, yeah, I said the financials because that's what it is. I mean, the fans. You got to have fans in there to make the fight happen. But like you said, you put up a good point. But there's other ways to generate the revenue. You put this fight on pay-per-view. I do think there is a market for pay-per-views. Go back to the UFC once again. They've done pay-per-views and they're going to continue to do pay-per-views, and they're doing really good buy rates. But it has to be marquee fights. You can't put on a lackluster fight on pay-per-view. So if you have Teofimo Lopez, Vasilily Lomachenko, put a really good co-feature on it as well. Price it at the right price point, maybe $50, $60 instead of the regular $70 to $80. Then you can make up some money here, and then the promoters are happy, you're happy, everyone's happy. Do you think that's what's holding up the fact that there are no fans that are going to be there?
Yeah, I mean, for a fight like this, I mean, we all expect, fans every time. I mean, look at Wilder and Fury, big mega fight, and there was fans everywhere, But now with everything that's going on, the pandemic, I mean, we could go back in time, and every big fight that's ever happened or occurred, I mean, there was fans. So I think for them, it's just it's a little different. I think for everybody it is, and they're just trying to find some way to at least have 3 to 5 or maybe 15,000 fans separated. So I'm just trying to work with everything, really.
So it's not your side. You're willing to do whatever. You're willing to fight without fans. You're willing to put the fight on pay-per-view. You're willing to pretty much do anything to secure the fight.
Dan, I want to fight. I want to fight. I'm bored. Man, I mean, working out, training and everything, but now it's just like, where's the action at?
What was the last correspondence between the two sides? Is it going to get to the point where you just got to go out and reach out to Lomachenko yourself? Shoot him a DM, man.
It's not even on his side. I mean, he's ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. It's just on the negotiations on Top Rank and ESPN.
Gotcha. Yeah, we want to see that fight. We want to see it.
I mean, they're talking back and forth within each other. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And they are, we're just waiting to hear back from them. They haven't spoken to Loma's side of the camp yet, or my side of the camp, and we're just trying to see what's up.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a problem of him getting to the U.S. anymore, because there was a thing where they couldn't come in, but that got lifted, where international fighters or athletes, there's an exemption come to the States, so that's not holding it up either. One thing that you've been on the record talking about is your desire to move up from 135. You know that your days at 135 are kind of short. I know you wanted to unify or even try to unify before you move up to 140. That's another wrinkle of this fight that kind of sucks, is that there's only a certain amount of time you have left at this weight. And same thing with Loma. It's only a certain amount of time before I believe that he could potentially move back down to 130. That's something he talked about too. Do you feel like that's something that's being thrown into this? Is that time is not really on both of your sides in terms of making the fight? Like, the time is now.
The time is now. It's got to be now or never. So, I mean, it's got to be – I mean, me and Loma prepped for this year for us to fight. So, I mean, that's stuff like that. So, it's tough to say, man. I don't really – I mean, I'm going to see if I could – I'm probably going to stay at 135 for maybe 2 more fights, I think I got 2 more fights in me at 135 and then move up. But I think maybe this is what it's a timing thing. But, time right now ain't on our side.
No, it isn't. That's the thing. The fight was perfect for right now. And it's out of your control, unfortunately, out of both of your guys' control too. But you stay at 135. It's the division right now. It's the hottest division in boxing, I think, in terms of young stars and the future of the sport. I had Shakur Stevenson on the show a few weeks ago, and he was talking about, out of all the young fighters, he feels like he is the most slept on. And that's when I said, maybe it's because you don't have like a clear rival. Like, every fighter coming up has to have a rival. You have one in Devin Haney. You have one in Ryan Garcia. Tank Davis get in the mix. You guys have all traded back and forth. You guys have all had run-ins back and forth. Talking about each guy, and this is a fan question that came in, how would you exploit each guy? And first of all, which guy you think out of those 4 would give you the most trouble?
Going back with the Shakur thing, Shakur, just talk your shit and just go after these guys. And that's it, bro.
You could see him one day, even though he's a little too small.
Nah, Shakur, man, by the time he's at 35, I'll be at 40, 47, something like that.
Well, by that time you could be at 175 the way you're looking.
Yeah.
I see your workouts, man. I see those pull-ups. I don't know how you manage to do those.
I do, but let me see. I think, honestly, who can I match up with?
Well, who would give you the toughest fight? Haney Garcia, Tank Davis.
Nah, you know me, Dan. I'm always gonna say no, nobody, man. I give myself the toughest fight always,
But who would you like stylistically? Say you stepped out of your body for a second, was like, oh man, I would love to, like, this fight right here. Styles make fights. Me and blank out of those 2 would be just fireworks.
All of them. They all have some potential of something, that some aspect of them that they have ability wise that makes it, a fight with me a great fight, to watch and to tune in on. So it could be Ryan, it could be Haney, it could be Tank. Either one of those guys would be intriguing to watch and to see me beat the shit out of. So that'd be good.
I think fans would like that. I was watching one of your IG lives. You're in the garage doing work like that, and I heard Jose Ramirez's name pop up, and that got me thinking. It's like, oh wow, like eventually Teofimo's gonna move on from 135, and maybe we've seen at 140. Jose Ramirez is a guy at 140, also a guy with top rank. That's a really intriguing fight, and I think that got the fans thinking too. What made you blurt that name out?
I love Jose, man. Jose Ramirez,
nicest guy in the world.
Strong dude, man. I mean, we've met, we've talked. I've met his wife, he met mine. I mean, dude is cool. You know what I mean? But going straight to business, I mean, he said that he don't see me going past 12 rounds with him, so I gotta talk my shit now. You don't start a fire, Now I gotta put more wood in there and make a bigger fire. So I'm gonna talk my shit right now. So Jose, I love you, bro, but that's it. That's it, man.
That's a fight. That's a good fight right there.
You don't fucked up, man. I mean, look, man. Hey, no wonder he going to 47 because I'm going to 40.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, hopefully they can come back. He can stay at 140, and if you move up to 140, so you don't want to wait around anymore, that's a fight right there. It's ready for the making. Another one too. It's interesting. We were in Vegas together. We were at that party after the Fury fight, and you were talking with Regis Prograis, and it seemed like you had somewhat of a relationship with it too. But that's another guy at 140. You and Regis Prograis. I mean, wow, that would be some type of fight.
Yeah, I know Regis from when I was actually the co-main event. He was a main event in his hometown in New Orleans. So we kind of we chatted it up there. We connected out there, and then I mean, there was talks about me and him potentially fighting and stuff like that. But I mean, until it's done, me and him, we chatted up and stuff like that. I mean, you was there when after I think Top Rank had that after party or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was there with his wife or his girl, and yeah, we chatted it up too. So he told me he was gonna fight Maurice Hooker, and then that stuff happened. So I mean, we always give each other the insights on everything.
It's a little fraternity. It's funny because I was watching you guys talk. I was like, oh wow, I never actually thought about those two guys actually fighting because they're just friends and you don't think about that stuff because everyone's so fixated on you, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank. They don't think about the other options that are also out there. The Regis Prograis, the Jose Ramirez, anyone at 140 too.
Oh yeah,
Broner.
There's a lot of guys at 140. I don't think Broner can make 140. He can make maybe 160.
He's huge.
He's big, man. But yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of great fights coming up from 35 to 40 to 47. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of wars. I'm gonna have a lot of great fights coming into this, man. That's for sure.
Is that what you want to do, though? You want to get out there. You want to fight the best. I think that's what fans are able to distinguish between you and some of the other guys out there. The Devin Haney's and Ryan Garcia's. There's a lot of criticism for them, and I think that I've said this to you before too. I think that you have been able to separate yourselves from those two because you won your title in the ring. You knocked out Comey, and there was no doubt. You don't really get into the back and forths on social media. That's not your game. Do you feel like there's other names out there that you can get there, or do you feel like, I'm going to make my name for myself by fighting the best every single time out there?
Yeah, that's just exactly it. Just you got to fight whoever they think is the best and beat them. That's all it is, People think Lomachenko's the pound for pound. I don't believe he is, and I'm just going to go out there and show it. And then whoever else is next, whoever's the next guy that they believe that is the best of the best and they think that is untouchable or they think is a god, I'm just going to go out there and just humble them. So
I like that.
I love to fight, and what I love is when people think that their shit don't stink. So fighters like that, I just love that shit. So it makes
who's that guy that you think that's the way?
Me. Come on, man. Why you think we pressing on this fight? Hey, I mean, look, like with Loma and everything, the dude could be the way he is because of all the accomplishments he's had, 3-time world champion, fastest guy to do it, and so on and so forth, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, all those things, But I don't know, man. It's just something about the dude I just don't like personally. You know what I mean? And I just want to get it out there.
No, I've heard you say this before.
Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Many times. But
switching things up a bit. Jarrell Miller, his name has been in the news once again, failing another drug test, and obviously, disappointments for sure. People want to see him banned. Unfortunately, the rules of boxing. There's always loopholes for him to find ways to get back into the ring. I wasn't even suspended for the first time he failed all those drug tests for the Joshua fight. You're a fighter now. What do you think the proper punishment needs to be for fighters that test positive for performance-enhancing drugs?
Get the fuck out of the sport. Get out. You don't deserve to be in the sport, man. I think any of these guys that do that or cheat, man, take any type of PEDs or anything like that, man, you just, the messed up part is that as a fighter, you should know, bro, the risk that we put into ourselves in our life every time we fight. I mean, how the hell are you going to go out there and knowing the fact that so many fighters passed away last year and you want to go and take some steroids and what, have that advantage or more to maybe kill a dude? I don't think they probably think of that. They just want to win. But it's just stuff like that, man. I don't think that's – trust me, man. If they thought I was doing steroids, they'll take me out of the sport immediately. So – I think everybody should definitely have the same type of treatment. Don't come back, man. It's a disrespect to the sport. And honestly, man, that's it. I think they should ban him for life.
Yeah, I think they're going to come down hard on him. They're going to make an example of him because enough's enough. This isn't baseball. This isn't, you don't play boxing. You can do some serious damage in there, especially a guy his weight too, and with the heavyweight division. He messed up the money, man. He really messed up his money between Joshua and then they Top Rank signed him because they wanted him to potentially fight Fury one day. So think about all the money he flushed down the toilet. It's really an insane thing that he did. And you got to think that maybe psychologically something was, he can only train or only fight if knowing that he has those drugs running through his body.
And I think it's just like being greedy, man, too greedy. Yeah. Could be like he just want to be too greedy, wants to collect the money and also have an advantage over these guys.
Mentally,
mentally. Yeah, it's just being greedy. He just wants more and more and more. You're already you're gonna be set. Whether win or lose, you're gonna get that money guaranteed for you. Just go out there.
James Prince gave him an advance. He owes him money too. So not the kind of guy you want to be owing money to.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, man. That's why. Jay Prince is not the guy that you.
Not the guy you want to cross. All right, Teofimo, thank you so much for joining us here. Mm-hmm. Last question before we let you go. Will we see you in the ring in 2020? Whether it's Loma, whether it's a tune-up fight, are we going to see Teofimo Lopez, the champ, in the ring this year?
Absolutely, man. Everybody want to see me fight. I want to see me fight. So, absolutely. I definitely want to go out there and hopefully our first priority is making the Loma fight happen, And if it's showing that it may not happen this year, then we're probably going to see if we get something else, in the meantime. And then start off 2021. Hopefully it's a better year. And that way we make the fight happen in that year. But who knows, man? All I know is that we fighting this year.
There it is, right there from Teofimo Lopez, the 135-pound champ. Thanks for joining us here at Inside Boxing Live. We will catch up soon, my man.
You got it, Dan.
Great interview there with the young champ, Teofimo Lopez, one of the brightest stars in boxing. And, man, he's just waiting on the shove. You can just see that he's chomping at the bit to get into that ring with Vasilily Lomachenko, one of the fights that has been on the shelf during this pandemic. And as you can see, like, there are not a lot of answers right now. A lot of the promoters are going through this right now, is that they cannot put on a marquee event. You can't get the level of a Wilder Fury or a Teofimo versus Lomachenko without fans in the crowd. Maybe there's a way to get it on pay-per-view if you charge it right, but you need that extra revenue in order to stage those fights, in addition to going through all the safety protocols, which are very expensive and are an extra cost as well to these promoters. So you're seeing it firsthand right there from Teofimo Lopez, a guy who's been training in his gym, training in his garage. Just can't wait. Dude's 22 years old and just wants to fight. And it's interesting to see that maybe if this fight doesn't happen or it moves to 2021 and he can no longer make the weight, or Lomachenko wants to move on to a different fight, who knows with these guys? He's going to have to go on to fight other names, and that's guys like Jose Ramirez or Regis Prograis, and those, I think, will be outstanding fights. Another story that was in the headlines this week, and it wasn't anything to do with fights being announced or anything to do with Jarrell Miller, was the PBC on Fox News. As you know, I appeared on a lot of different PBC on Fox telecasts and different platforms during our CompuBox by the numbers. And it turns out that they are going to be canceling the Inside PBC show, as well as scaling back on a lot of their shoulder programming. These are some really talented people that I got a chance to work with, some really talented guys that gave me my first chance to be on national television. And I know a lot of the boxing world is just saying to hang in there and stay tough. But there it is, an end to Inside Boxing Live. We'll see you next week for another edition. Thank you so much for joining us.